and welcome to Life as Freya. I'm Freya and today I'm going to be talking about the ebooks I've received this month for review or the books I have lined up to read. If you'd like to look at some of the paper books I received this month too, there's a link to those in the description below. You could take a look at it there, right? Now the first book that I have this month on my list to read is The Nutmeg Tree by Marjorie Sharp. And this book is about Julia, who's this middle-aged woman with a lot of life and enthusiasm. When she was young, this enthusiasm got her into trouble because in quick succession she got pregnant, got married and got widowed. But her in-laws were amazing people, so they took in the baby and that was that. 16 years later now, her daughters got back in touch with her and asked her for help. So Julia's off to help her, only where Julia goes, there's going to be a lot of trouble also and a lot of fun that follows. So that's kind of what the book's about. The book's The Nutmeg Tree by Marjorie Sharp. A quick shout out to the guys at Open Road Media who were offering this book up for free as a giveaway. So that's how I got that book, right? So that's The Nutmeg Tree by Marjorie Sharp. The next book that I have on my list is The House at the End of the Street by Stephanie E. Kusiak. Now, this is a story of Natalie and Kathleen. Natalie is a ghost, Kathleen's a little girl when they first encounter each other. But the story progresses and years later, Kathleen's now a grown woman and she's trying to find herself and figure things out, and she thinks the answers lie with the ghost from her childhood. So she comes back to her old childhood home and she's trying to reconnect with Natalie, and in the whole process they both are going to find themselves and each other, right? So that's kind of what the story is about. I'm not so much of a horror fan, so I've got my fingers crossed that this book doesn't have a lot of scary scenes. It does sound more like a thriller and does sound like fun, but yeah, got my fingers crossed. So that's The House at the End of the Street by Stephanie E. Kusiak. I hope I've got that name right. And yes, it's not to be confused with the movie with the same name, right? So this is a separate book. The next book that I have is The Kashmir Trap by Mario Bolduc. Hoping I'm getting these names right. So I'm going through this phase where I just pick up every book that is either written by an Indian author or is about India, and it's so much fun to read books that are based in India or are about India by non-Indian authors, because it's a completely different perspective. So I'm looking forward to this one. Now this book is The Kashmir Trap, and the quick gist is that Max, has lost Max's brother disappeared 11 years ago, and now suddenly his nephew has also been assassinated. He follows his nephew to India in New Delhi, and that's where the story, or rather that's where things start to unfold. He's a professional con, and he's investigating this. There's also a war brewing between India and Pakistan. So there are a lot of parallels that are running through this book. This book is about India and Pakistan. It's also about Max and his brother. And it would be really, really interesting to see this whole India-Pakistan scenario from a completely different perspective, especially a non-Indian perspective. So I'm looking forward to this one. It's called The Kashmir Trap by Mario Bolduc. The last book that I have on my list today is The Iron Goddess. Now this book I'm really, really excited about because anything to do with bikers excites me. So this is a story of Shia, who's born in a biker family. Her father is the president of a motorcycle club, but she's not only earned her wheels from her father, she's also learned to break locks, stop alarms, hot wire cars, all of that. The only thing is that all of this leads her into trouble and she lands up in jail, where she decides to clean up her act and sort things out. So she comes back out of jail and starts her own bike company where she makes custom motorcycles and is trying to live the straight path, on the straight path. However, things don't go to plan, and one of her colleagues gets killed, 3 motorcycles get stolen, and now Shia has to figure this out. She of course knows that cops are pointless, so she starts to investigate this herself. The only thing is the trail leads back to her father and her estranged sister and a niece who's been kidnapped. So she's gonna have to figure all of this out. So that's kind of what the book's about. It's a lot of biker stuff. Right, so that's The Iron Goddess by Dharma Kelleher, and I'm looking forward to reading this one. This I think would be a lot of fun. Anything biker is fun. So that's The Iron Goddess by by Dharma Kelleher. It's about Shia Stevens. That's kind of the books for today. Thank you so much for joining me. You could look at all the links to the books are down in the description below. You can also follow me on my blog, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. All the links are down there. If you're on Goodreads, give me a shout on Goodreads. It'd be really nice to connect with other book people. And thank you so much for joining me today. Bye-bye.